Did you know you can go viral on Etsy? Just like TikTok and Instagram's followers don't matter, which means your overall store sales don't matter on Etsy. I know this because I made $2,000 in 1 week on a brand new Etsy shop at the end of month one. This is happening all the time. While everybody's complaining about zero sales and not having any sales, there are people that go viral on Etsy every single day. And that's because they're focusing on three things that I'm going to talk about in this video. If you don't focus on these three things, you are going to be one of the people that are just going to complain about not getting any sales. It's a matter of making the right decision and understanding what the algorithm really, truly cares about. Not what you care about, but what the algorithm cares about. Not what your grandma or your mom cares about your product and really patting you on the back that you were able to make a soy candle, but it's about what the algorithm cares about. Side note, soy candles sell really well on Etsy. Now, for those that don't know, now I do this all the time. I've been a top seller on the past 5 years on Etsy. I also consult and manufacture for top sellers. So when it comes to going viral on Etsy, it's not a new subject for me. So make sure to buckle up. This is a video you're going to want to watch if you want to go viral on Etsy. Okay, though, first thing, just like Instagram and TikTok, when someone shares your content, that is the best indicator to go viral on Etsy and TikTok. If somebody can share your stuff, that means it's worth it to viewers that they actually perform an action. And that action is sharing. So, but what happens on Etsy? Who shares your content on Etsy? Well, it's the algorithm itself. If the algorithm shares your content or shares your product, it is going to give the viral effect. Now, go on your statistics. If you don't believe me, go on your statistics. You will discover that not SEO, not ranking gets you the most traffic. It is Etsy app and other pages. In other words, it is what Etsy recommends to its user base. Let's just step back a second. And why does Etsy share our listings? Here's the thing. When your product is so good and it makes Etsy money by selling and by doing what it's supposed to do, and it's going to generate Etsy revenue, more people should buy this. Etsy knows that on a macro scale, more people should buy products that do well, right? This is how business works. And so Etsy would want to recommend a good product to more people because if it has a higher chance of selling, then Etsy wants more people to buy it, more people to see it because they're more likely to buy it. So it's just a simple rule. Now, how does Etsy recommend your product to other people? What can you do for Etsy to recommend your product? Now, there's a product that went viral for me, and that's banners. Okay, I have a large scale printer, and I'm able to sublimate that on a canvas. I'm able to make big scale canvases. And then I had to ask myself, how can I sell canvases? There are two different kinds of people that will buy canvases, either in home decors for kids' rooms and things like that, or businesses out of flea markets that will display their logo and maybe even do table runners. So what I did is I recognized that there's a fundamental need for all these small businesses. And it's not to sell more products. It's to pay their bills. Bills are being hard to pay. People might not have enough to where one parent needs to work and one parent stays at home. And usually they come to a point where wife says, hey, honey, what if I go earn some extra money so we have enough, money to pay bills? Hey, I'm good at making candles. What if I go sell candles at a flea market? So fundamentally, people need to make extra money. That's the need. And so they're going to go and set up their little flea market, and a banner is going to be part of that need. And so understanding that, then I'm going to offer them a product and be useful to them. So now anybody that also has that same need, hey, I need to make extra money. Hey, I'm really good at making candy. Hey, I'm really good at making jewelry. Hey, maybe we should make some extra money on flea markets. Anybody with that same need will go to Etsy to have the same problem. They need a banner with a logo. Okay, and if I'm supplying a person that's making candles, what Etsy's going to do is it's going to recognize that, hey, this person converted really nicely, and their previous search history was how to make candles or candle material. Obviously, they're going to sell candles at a flea market. So what it's going to do is it's going to recommend a banner to anybody that's buying candle making supplies. And it'll be a really good possibility that they're also going to sell candles and they also need a banner. Boom, all of a sudden it's a good deal. Good run for Etsy. It recommended the right product to the right customer. Okay? Because at the end of the day, Etsy wants to be useful to its customers and present a product that is going to actually help them. And sure enough, it probably worked because they're also going to sell candles across the states. Maybe this person is selling it in Washington, this person is selling it in New York or something. Now, then it's going to say, well, what about other people that are buying supplies generally? So it's going to find people that are buying jewelry making supplies. And there's a good chance that they might be selling their jewelry. They probably have permanent jewelry business, right? And they're looking for permanent jewelry supplies. And it's going to recommend the banner to those customers as well. Sure enough, it's doing really well. Then it's going to recommend to more permanent jewelry makers or people that buy permanent jewelry supplies. And sure enough, that also works really well. So it's going to go viral just because you're solving a very specific problem that exists in a lot of people. And that specific problem is not having enough money, and we need to do a little side hustle. And so my fundamental product, which is a banner, serves those customers. So really attach yourself, find the exact customer that has the exact need, because those same customers exist elsewhere that might have nothing to do with the search history of one type of product. So that is a big thing. So if you're able to provide a product that answers an actual need, not, hey, to all businesses that need a banner. No, it's to someone that doesn't have enough money to pay for their bill. So you need to discover these things and service those people. Now, I actually searched a product that solves a specific problem or actually benefits a specific kind of customer that made me $2,000 in sales in 1 week at the end of month one. I actually have the link in the description below. I actually record the whole process that you get to see how I built that Etsy shop and scale that business and go viral. You actually see me go viral. So if you're interested, check out the link in the description below. Now, the second thing that the algorithm cares about is click-through rate. This is huge, okay? Click-through rate is the best data that algorithm can collect. For example, it's a whole math. There's a math to it, right? If you have 1,000 people going through your listing and say 50 or 100 people clicked on it, out of 100 people, there probably going to be a conversion rate of like 1%. Maybe one person will buy it, maybe not. Etsy will have more luck on collecting data from clicks than even purchases. Clicks are like little voting. You're voting on what listing works better for you than the other. Query matching is another term that you need to start getting familiar with. When a customer writes a custom banner, if they're clicking on your listing versus like say you're selling to a flea market banner that has a booth and a banner literally in a booth, that's your thumbnail, versus a banner over a crib, and they're going to click on the booth banner, that means you're going to rank better in that keyword custom banner for people that have a particular search history. So you are going to rank better for those customers, okay? So this is really important. That's why you need to hyper focus on customers. I'm going to say this again throughout this whole video. You need to hyper focus on a customer, because if you're answering their actual need, you're going to have a higher click-through rate with that particular audience. And that particular audience is going to be fully saturated with your product. Your product is going to be the go-to product. And so anybody that's even thinking of starting a business, they might even just started looking for candle supplies, your banner is going to pop up and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to need a banner at some point. So they'll buy it, right? So you need to have a higher click-through rate. And the way you achieve a click-through rate is by being relevant to what they're looking for. If you're relevant to what they're looking for with your thumbnail, they're going to click on your listing. Also, title. Title is going to be very important. So when you type in the title for this product, you can do personalized canvas, a banner, but the rest of the title should be what it's used for, right? Flea market canvas, business display, booth banner. So you want your rest of the title to be what it's for, because then again, you're going to be recommended to people that are in those areas, in those categories, okay? So it's really important. Click-through rate is going to be higher when you're more relevant. When you go into keywords like banners, you're going to be less relevant. Still really relevant, but you're going to be less relevant, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. So make sure that your click-through rate is good. So thumbnail and relevancy to the particular kind of customer type. If you're not relevant, if you're just trying to target everyone, you're not going to get good click-through rate. That's just how it works. Okay, the third one is sales velocity, or I should say maintaining sales velocity. Let's go to Mr. Beast, okay? That guy goes viral every single video. Why? When you're pushing a train off the cliff, a 5-year-old kid would see that as intriguing, and a 50-year-old person would be intrigued by just what's going on. So they're able to maintain a view retention at 5-year-olds to 50-year-olds to maintain the consistency in retention of a viewer. In Etsy, it works as a sales velocity. Now, click-through rate is most important in the beginning of your listing's existence, maybe the first week or two. However, once you start to get sales and they start to pick up, the more sales you make, the more it's going to recommend. This is where virality happens. If you're making more sales, you'll make even more sales. For some people, that might be not fair. You know, hey, I'm not getting any sales. Why can't I be the one that gets sales? Well, you got to pay attention to this video. That's why you really got to apply these things to your Etsy business. When you say make a banner for a very specific type of flea market, say for soaps, if you're selling a banner for, canvas print custom banners for flea markets, really specific, you have a high conversion rate, click-through rate, you have a high sales velocity in that area. Then it's going to say, okay, people that probably are going to be in the fleet markets, that are not even looking for custom banners. Let's just say you recommend to those customers and they're like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm going to get one anyway, since they buy it. So you're maintaining sale velocity. And then you're going even further to banners, right? Not even fleet market custom banners, not just custom banners, but also just the word banners. All of a sudden, if you're able to maintain sale velocity, that's where you get virality. How you don't get virality is when you either start broad and you're not getting any traction, or your listing doesn't compete on the broad scale. So I did this with my dog collars. I had a listing that generated $2,000 to $3,000 in sales per day. The way I made it work, so I did a wide metal dog collar with floral decals, very specific. It was a 1.5 inch collar. Usually collars are standard 1 inch, but this was a 1.5 inch, and I went the wide route. Everybody else was doing 1 inch. I did wide. Everybody else were doing plastic. I did metal. Well, at least a lot of people did plastic at that time. Now there's a lot more metal. And I did floral because that was not enough collars existed when I just started that were floral. Now there's a bunch. And so I hyper-targeted a specific type of product that might be appreciated by a specific type of people. And sure enough, velocity started to pick up. But I also, as I was making the listing, I asked myself, how am I going to compete on just the keyword pet gifts? Pet gifts, not even dog gifts, pet gifts. And sure enough, one of the ways is when people are selling a higher ticketed item, like a dog bed, there's going to be $200, $300. When people are buying gifts, they don't want to commit too much to a friend. They might love their friend, but they don't love them $300 amount of love. They just want to do like $30. And so sometimes $30 to $50 items perform way better in sale velocity than something with a high price item. So Etsy wants to make at least that transaction. And so I'm able to maintain sale velocity when I go scale up in comparison to dog beds or even dog harnesses. Harnesses are about $50 to $90, whereas dog collars is $20 to $30. So I'm able to compete with them on price, but also my product looked nice. The floral dog collar looked really good on the dog, right? There's a dog in the background versus my competitors that are selling just a plain dog collar, or maybe they're just embroidered red dog collar. It outcompete them because mine just looked better, and it was laser engraved on the buckle. It wasn't just embroidered on it, it was laser engraved. So I'm also all of a sudden competing on the keyword much better. So giftable, and price plays along with that, and being better in comparison to other products that will also compete on a broader audience. Now, you start from a niche, but then you also keep your eye on those on a broader audience and competing in those three ways. That's what I did with my dog collars. So if you're able to maintain a sales velocity as you're being introduced to a wider and wider audience, that is going to give you that viral effect. So hopefully this video was useful. Again, I opened an entire Etsy shop in front of you guys. Link is in the description below. You'll get access to that. Check it out. I'm not kidding. There is possible ways to go viral. And if you're not going viral, then there's something that you're doing wrong. And you can actually change the trajectory of your Etsy business. So make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification. Until next time, you guys have a great day.